All right, then. It looks like we have at least three people here already. So, how's everybody doing tonight? We're just gonna, of course, wait a few minutes to give some more people a chance to show up. But while we're waiting, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here to share in the experience. That'd be appreciated. Um, also, as I said, we're going to just wait a few minutes before we get started. Um, so, how's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully, everybody's had a good day today. Um, hmm. and it would appear we might have some lurkers in tonight, and that's okay too. Hopefully, well, you guys will enjoy the content tonight. We're gonna go over some stories here. I said just want to wait, give some people a chance to show up before we get started. Hey, Leto, how you doing, man? Hey, I'm here. Yeah, hey, I see that, Leto. Thank you for being here, man. I'm here, Mike. Yeah, I'm just, as I said, just waiting on to see if we can get some more people in here, man. If you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, that would be appreciated. How you doing? All right, basically, my day was typical day. Got up, checked on some videos before I turned my computer off for a little while. Then got up, got dressed, went up to the store, um, got my energy drink, came back, watched some TV, um, then turned my computer back on around, I'd say about 10:30, 11 o'clock. Um, After having turned it off at about 7:30, and then did a little advanced research on comics I'd be covering for the next few weeks here, this week and next couple. Just finding out which comics are out there to be read. Obviously, um, went and grabbed some lunch, came home, watched my Toonami block, my afternoon watching schedule, and then prepared tonight's stream. Went over and watched RJ's stream. You know, shared this one, and then just been kind of puttering around a little bit. So, what kind of advanced? It, it's just, simply put, it's like I basically just part of it was to see if like certain comics would be available to read for the upcoming weeks. Like for example, okay, okay, you guys know every Friday we do the historical comic retrospect, right? So I already kind of knew that like the ones we'd be going through this Friday were available. We'd have stuff to read for this Friday. Next Friday, of course, we're going to be covering. The fifth, we're going to be covering Dell, David McKay, and United Features. Now, while there isn't really much on on like the David McKay public the copy of the book we'll be looking at from David McKay or United Features, you know, just and we will be reading from one of Dell Comics publications, and then of course we're going to be doing a new comic book company on the 12th. So that's more or less kind of just looking ahead to see prepare myself for what I'll cover. That's basically the advanced research I was talking about there, Leto. Let's see. Good evening. Just stopped having a Nerf war with the boys. Oh, with the little Nerf football there, toys. Oh, hey, toys. Oh, sounds fun. Go have fun with the family, my guy. Uh, Hey, Leto. as Lois Lazarus is crawling around in his camo. Oh, that's good. At least he's getting around. In order, in order a Nerf Gatling gun. How about loud? Yeah, it says two people here, but it's like I think we got three actually. It is being screwy with the counter again. And thank you guys for the likes and shares. I do appreciate that. Helps get the word out. Um, oh yeah. So let's see. Well, we're coming up. Well, let's see. We're already at 6. It's 20. Wait a couple more minutes before we. Hey, Solid saying hi to Leto. Don't trust Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing to see it lower than I know it actually is. You know, I mean, there's at least 4 of us here now, so um, it says 3, but I'm counting 4. So see, so 7 minutes. Let's see now. Hey, Solid. Let's see. How goes it, buddy? Hope you're doing well. All right, so let's see. 7 minutes. 7:15. So probably when we hit the 8-minute mark, that's when I'll get going here. Get into what's on tap for tonight. Let's see. Coming up on a 7.5 minutes now. Let's see. Good, you? Anyways, okay. So now we're coming up on 8 minutes. So here's pretty much what's on tap for tonight, guys. I've got 5 stories to go over. 4 of them from Bounding into Comics and 1 from Critical Blast. We're actually going to lead with the Critical Blast story RJ published earlier tonight, reviewing Mark Millar's let's see, the Magic Order, the book Mark Millar is doing. Then we're also going to be looking at let's see, there's some news on Batman the Knight. A little bit about that comic coming out. Ethan Van Sciver's got some more commentary on what's going on with DC and Marvel. That sounds interesting. There's an anime called Arc Knights. It's going to be coming out soon, and then after all this long time of anticipation, High Guardian Spice is actually coming to Crunchyroll finally. So that's all that's on tap for tonight. So, anyways, that being said, as we're coming up on 10 minutes, let's go ahead and get started with the news here. All right. Anyways, let's get into this. Okay, so the first story we're going to be covering tonight. All right, the first story we're going to be covering tonight is this one. Millar's The Magic Order returns with a grand entrance. This is a story, of course, that was published by R.J. Carter earlier today at around 1342, which is like military time. So the equivalent to that would be one, or how we would know that is 1:42 p.m. So, and that's the cover for the Magic Order number 2 right there. Let's see what RJ has to say right here. Cordelia and Reagan Moonstone, as well as the rest of the dysfunctional and oh so powerful magic users, return in this follow up to Mark Millar's enchantingly entertaining adventure, The Magic Order. The world has been saved. I think he meant to say saved, not saves. Saved again, apparently again by the Magic Order, a cadre of wizards who live their days in mundane, workaday jobs while spending their nights protecting humanity from the things they don't believe in. Stage magician and master scapologist Cordelia has taken her father's seat as the leader of the order. She's also been reclusive since the events of the first volume of the series, holed up in their magic castle hidden inside a painting in an art gallery in Chicago. Yes, I wrote that correctly. And that's only the surface level of weirdness you're in for when you open the pages of the Magic Order number 2. Now, you guys know that during the week, RJ does he does a lot of streams where he's like helping to promote comics, particularly independent comics. So if you guys do have a chance, if you're a little earlier, usually it's so RJ streams are Critical Blast streams are at 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern to catch some of those to check out some of what he's doing. So, sup, bro, daddy? Hey, Batgoat. Thanks for being here, my friend. And as always, if you can like and share the stream, that would be appreciated. Help get some more friendly people in here. Um, so that'd be appreciated. Anyways, continuing on with the article here. But Cordelia's self-imposed exile is about to come to an end because it's time for something else to threaten all of existence, and the Order will have to step up. An ancient race of magic users used to run the world, and with Leonard Moonstone no longer in charge of things, they believe it now is a time to challenge their stifled state. Along the way, you'll get to meet deadly imaginary friends, an immortal suicidal killer. Wow, that's an immortal suicidal killer. So the dude wants to try to kill himself, but he can't because he's immortal. That sounds pretty interesting. And a perfectly charming little girl's birthday party. The Magic Order is Harry Potter by way of Coppola and Scorsese, couple of famous directors who have been known for having more darker influences, as it were. It's full of richly imaginative elements and weird rules, populated by venal people who try to do good or reveal in doing evil. Just a thing for the comics reader who's become jaded with homicidal clowns perpetually being beaten by sociopath with a leather fetish. So what's he saying here? That got sociopaths who are like dominatrix, or the male version of dominate, whatever male version of a dominatrix is, going around whipping people with leather, opening up their skin and all that. So I guess he gives a grade of 4 out of 5. So that's pretty good there. So anyway, so that's that. That's the first story there. Let's see what you guys are saying there. Does anybody have anything they want to say about this comic before we move on to the next story? Uh, Let's see. The toilet repair is kicking my rear end. I'm taking a break. I have to reseat the stupid tank. Oh boy. To the bowl for the third time. I ruined the first set of uh, bushings and didn't place a second set. All right. Yeah, that can. I guess that can be kind of nasty. I guess in the right place. Sucks back. All right. So, did anybody have anything they want to say about the comic or about the thing I just read here? Sit down, enjoy a brewski. It's kind of fun though. At least I get to man complain, laugh out loud. Yes, enjoying a course. Now the comic doesn't look like something I'd read anyway. Okay. Poor Batgoat goes in for a virtual hug, stops suddenly, and starts to back away. Oh boy. All right, toys. You're playing that up. All right. Anyways, okay. So moving on to the next article then. And back on, I know you're a little late, but we're doing 5 stories tonight. This was the first of them from from Critical Blast. So now we're gonna go into bounding into comics, a couple of comic stories, and then an anime and. All right, so moving on to the next story, then let's see. New miniseries Batman the Knight to explore Bruce Wayne's pre 1 year training. Article by J.B. Augustine, published earlier today. Former Daredevil writer Chip Zdarsky and former The Flash artist Carmine Di Giandomenico are going to delve into what made Batman the Knight before he became dark and came back to Gotham. Night cover by Carmine Di Giandomenico. In Batman the Knight, we will get the chance to find out how Bruce Wayne prepared for his future career of costumed crime fighting and thug pummeling prior to year one, otherwise known as the first year as a Cape Crusader. The announcement for the title came ahead of fandom, shoved into a press release instead of presented during the actual event, where it could have gotten more attention if revealed during a panel. Yeah, but since it probably isn't a woke title, that's probably why they didn't do it. Because it's not some it's probably not woke for them. So the official description from DC's solicitation begins, quote, the origin of Batman and his never-ending fight against crime in Gotham City is modern mythology. But what about the story in between? Unquote. It continues, quote, how did an angry, damaged young man grow into the most accomplished detective and crime fighter the world has ever known. How did The Dark Knight begin? Chip Zdarsky of Daredevil fame and Carmine Di Giandomenico, The Flash, explore Bruce Wayne's journey to becoming Batman in this definitive new series, unquote. A 10-issue series, The Knight, will play out similarly to the first act of Batman Begins, following Bruce from the time he leaves Gotham as a young vengeful journeyman up to his decision to return home and clean up the streets with a variety of gadgets and punching. Zdarsky will write the series while Di Giandomenico will handle art and cover duties. Greg Capullo and Jonathan Glapion will supply a variant cover, while more variants will come by way of the toil of Gerald Parel, who's doing a 125th, and Capullo and Glapion for a 150th foil variant. Batman the Knight #1 checks in at 40 pages that will cost $4.99 at the regular cover price and $5.99 for the variant covers. It is slated for a street date of January 18, 2022, assuming the paper shortage, printer problems, and shipping crisis all get sorted out by the end of the holiday season. Oh, yeah. Intrigued? Tell us if you're picking up a copy when the night falls upon us in January on social media or in the comments down below. Let's see if there were any interesting comments here about it. Okay, there were a few comments here. I'm tired of origin stories. Next comes the adventures of Bruce Wayne, Bats. Yeah, yeah. I know RJ has talked a lot about this. How one of the other issues at DC, particularly at DC right now, is how they just keep revamping this stuff. Um, you know, I know what they're trying to do here is they're trying to expand on his origin a little bit there by saying, well, what happened between basically the time, but you tell the same particular story over and over again. Eventually, people are going to get tired of it. Unfortunately, uninterested, and we've seen this 1,000 times before. It means they have nothing new to show us. Yoda, out of ideas, have they run? Scooter's pill. That was a funny one. I mean, origin stories are a step up from rather than fighting supervillains, let's just have teenage romance. But new and original, interesting characters would be better. 10 issues at $3.99 a pop? No thanks. Yeah. Well, I don't think he was. Yeah. I mean, if you want to see a good telling of like Batman's origin stories, and you're probably better off just going back to the classic old days, we've been doing on Friday nights. If you're gonna want that, I mean, because everybody more or less knows Bruce Wayne's origin story, and yeah, granted, retelling it and giving it a little more depth, like once or twice, that's fine. But over and over and over again ad nauseum, yeah, people are gonna get sick of that. You are definitely going to get sick of that if you keep telling it ad nauseum. let's see. Did any of y'all? No, I haven't seen that. More I see, the more embarrassed I get. No, Wileto. I think he just told you before you even asked. Just it looks bad. Jet looks like the only young character in the show. Laugh out loud. Well, yeah, I think in an article we recently read on here, Leto, um, I guess about some comments about like some of the Japanese actors are saying how John Cho being, I think he's like 45 and trying to play a 25-year-old Spike Spiegel there. That just doesn't seem to be working for most people. The ships look like something Sci-Fi Network worked on in the late 90s, which I'm guessing means you're saying that it looks kind of lower quality, basically. I guess is what you're saying with that statement, right, Leto? They are trying so hard to emulate the dub voice actors. It's cringe. You're talking about the dub voice actors for the movie, you mean, or for this series, the Japanese dub voice actors? I see the people are slowly evolving Batman to be a slender body type now. Paper shortage is a blessing in disguise for these huge comic companies. We would sell tons more if it wasn't for the blasted paper shortage. Yeah, I get what you're saying there. It's like with the paper shortage, it means that it's going to take them longer to peddle out garbage, right? There, Leto. Ah, right. Paper shortage. Wink, wink. Yeah. All right. So I guess we can move on to the next article then. We're coming up on already done with 2 of the 5 articles here. We're not even at a half hour yet. Of course, I did get started pretty quickly too. All right, so here's an interesting article. And Batgo, you might want to listen to this because this is from your old buddy Uncle Ethan Van Sciver. Or at least the article is about him, about something that he was saying recently. Yes, Brandon will save us all. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Anyways, as I said, Batgo, you might want to be paying attention to this because this article is about Ethan Van Sciver. I know. Another EVS article, cool. Yeah, giving some commentary on. So here's something. Let's go, Brennan, on YouTube. And I don't know if it is or not, Leto, but all right. Anyway, so let's get on to this next article here. Ethan Van Sciver speculates Marvel and DC Comics are being funded by the government to push radical gender and sexuality ideology. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That really wouldn't surprise me. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. The creator of Cyberfrog and former DC Comics artist Ethan Van Sciver believes that Marvel and DC Comics push to include radical gender and sexuality ideology into their comics is being funded by the government. Van Sciver's speculation came in a recent video reacting to a Screen Rant article claiming that a new Wolverine antagonist wants to be the hyper masculine Marvel character's lover. Wolverine antagonist wants to be the hyper masculine Marvel character. Okay. Interesting way to put all that. Let's see where this is going. If you haven't been following what's been happening at Marvel and DC Comics, the two publishing companies have made huge editorial decisions to make many of their characters homosexual, bisexual, transgender, or some other LGBTQ plus identity. Well, we've been following it all right, as I'm sure truckload of people are setting those comics ablaze faster than you can say Mississippi, or regurgitating in their toilets. DC Comics made headlines by retconning Batman's sidekick Robin, the Tim Drake version, into being attracted to dudes. The character's lengthy history of dating females was thrown out the window in Batman Urban Legends number 6 when Drake accepts a request to go on a romantic date with a male friend named Bernard. Yes, and we remember the articles about that. After making Tim Drake attracted to men, they also made headlines by having the new Superman attracted to a man, despite previously being attracted to a woman named Saturn Girl. Superman will show his sexual attraction a pink-haired Jay Nakamura in Tom Taylor's Superman Son of Kal-El number 5. DC Comics confirmed it in a blog post earlier this month, writing, quote, "Just like his father before him, John Kent has fallen for a reporter. After initially striking up a friendship with reporter Jay Nakamura, he and John become romantically involved in the pages of Superman Son of Kal-El number 5 from writer Tom Taylor, Dark Knights of Steel, and artist John Timms, Harley Quinn." Let's see. The rap song about it was because he said something about the fake virus in his song and got hit with Commie 101 misinformation. So SJW have reached the government. Well, well, look, the squad, they're definitely SJWs. You know, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez and her other confederates. We're familiar with it. It won't sell, and the companies are going to screen the biggest, be the biggest homophobes. Are going to screen the biggest homophobes won't buy our books, and then the world will carry on. Yep, probably what will happen. I know Yellow Flash in particular has been predicting for a while that probably sometime Yellow Flash and a few others have been predicting probably sometime in the next 2 or 3 years, you know, DC and Marvel will not be the same companies that they are today. They'll either be out of business or they'll have shifted their marketing. You know, they won't. I don't know if they'll be publishing as many monthly titles. They may be publishing more like graphic novels or even going digital more. Because right now you are seeing more and more indie creators coming out of the woodworks. Just go over and watch RJ Critical Blast, you know, every day, and you'll see that there are more and more coming out, and some of them are even getting more and more titles out, you know, multiple issues. So, anyways, back to the article here. As Van Sciver notes in this video, DC Comics also introduced a transgender OMAC character in the final issue of Superman and the Authority, and we read about that one too last week. The character tells Superman, quote, "Me and she, we're mac and cheese. Stars and stripes, cops and protesters, laws and outlaws." Where she goes, I'm there. Pronouns he, him, they. Unquote. Oh boy. Oh boy, that guy's insecure, isn't he? And he has to take a widescreen. DC Comics isn't alone with these radical gender and sexuality changes to their characters. Marvel Comics recently made Star Lord attracted to men, as well in Guardians of the Galaxy #9. He even participates in a menage a trois. For those of you who are not familiar with that particular phrase, a menage a trois is French for three-way. Okay, just in case you didn't, he just a little FYI there. The term menage a trois is French for a three-way. In other words, three people being involved in an interaction, as it were, counter, whatever you want to say it. Volume 6, number 9. I shall make you a Star Lord. Words by Al Ewing. Art by Juan Cabaland, Federico Blee. Al Ewing, just to let people, if you got to remind people, is the guy who was working with Joe Bennett on the Ultimate Hulk comic until it ended, and until he and Marvel totally turned on Joe Bennett right there. So Marvel Comics also turned original X-Men member Iceman into a homosexual back in Uncanny X-Men number 600. After Jean Grey used her powers to tell a younger Iceman that he was a homosexual, this younger Iceman then confronts the original Bobby Drake, who claims he's homosexual too. Oh boy. Star-Lord and Colossus flame Star-Lord and Colossus flame Kitty Pryde. Um, also had Star Lord and Colossus Flame Kitty Pryde also had her sexuality altered in Marauders number 12 back in September 2020 when she kisses a tattoo artist. Excuse me a moment, guys. It sounds like my phone's ringing, so I'll be right back. I gotta see what's going on there. Be right back. Well, apparently a scammer was trying to call me just now. Anyways, say what you guys are. Star Lord, more like Gaylord. Am I right? Laugh out loud. Gaylord Fokker. Okay. That's forbidden nowadays. You can't out a gay person. Well, you can't out them because they're outing themselves, right? Ah, they're outing themselves nowadays. As for why Van Sciver believes these characters and many more have been changed, the Cyberfrog creator stated, quote, "My suspicion is that is the reason why all of this happening, the reason why this is um, a thing that is being accepted and promoted by Marvel and DC is that there is probably a government diversity program is actually financially rewarding them with your tax dollars," unquote. Again, wouldn't surprise me with the Democrats in control, with the liberals in control right now. Quote, to promote diversity, promote inclusion, promote these ideas in their comic books. It's another way for these comics to be profitable when they manifestly are not profitable. So that is the theory that I have, he asserts. Basically, because it's kind of funny, the government is subsidizing them with your tax dollars because people won't buy them because most people don't want to read them. That's the equation right there. The government is subsidizing these comic books because with your tax dollars because people aren't buying them because people don't want to read them. Because most people don't really want to read them. So Monty at Marvel introduces at POTUS at Women History Month reception. Okay, so quote, I've seen it happen on a smaller scale with librarians and in film making and in the filmmaking industry. I think it's happening here too. I will endeavor to find evidence of that. And if you guys have any, if you guys have heard anything or can think of any government programs we should get to the bottom of this, he continued, unquote, by the way. Van Sciver concluded, quote, we really should try to make sense of what's going on to our beloved comic book industry. What do you make of Van Sciver's speculation that the government is funding this radical gender ideology that is becoming incorporated into Marvel and DC? I would say that he's got a legitimate point. That could be very well be what's happening. You know, government filled right now with a whole bunch of hard left liberals who want to push, you know, who say they're pro diversity, yet their rhetoric is more divisive than unifying. They want to subsidize these comic books because they're not selling. Because most people don't want to read this stuff. They don't want to be told that they have to accept the LGBTQ community. They either will or they won't. All right, you know. I'll talk about happy people as often as I want. Yeah. Of course, toys. Toys, of course, alluding to the older definition of the term gay, the definition that was used more like back in the 30s and 40s for the term gay. Anyways, moving on to the next article then here. Let's see where we. So we're at 46 minutes now, so I guess we're making a good time. Just over halfway through the articles here. Hmm. All right, so here's the next article. We're gonna be getting into the anime portion of the news cycle here. Arknights announces anime series release first trailer. Article by Spencer McCooley, published earlier today. It's from anime video games genre. An anime series based on Chinese developer Hypergriff's popular mobile tower defense gotcha game, Arknights, has officially been announced. The series production was first revealed by the official Arknights Twitter account, who on October 24th, which is this past Sunday, tweeted out the news that, quote, Arknights will be made into a TV anime series, unquote. Quote, at the same time the announcement PV has been released, unquote. The announcement continued, quote, season one, Dawn Prelude, is currently in the works. Looking forward to it, unquote. Said preview trailer, which features an interaction between Amiya and Doctor player character, following an ambush by unknown forces, can be seen below. An animation adaptation official. First anniversary special animation. As noted in the announcement, the Arknights adaptation will be helmed by Yostar Pictures, whose credits include Azure Lane anime series and previous Holy Night Light animated short released in celebration of Arknight's first anniversary. Let me see what else is here. Let's see. They haven't said anything more about it as of yet. Taking place in a post-apocalyptic future, Arknights follows the story of the Doctor and his operators at the Rhodes Island organization, otherwise known as the game's deployable cast of characters, as they fight to discover a cure for the deadly oropathy disease, which has taken hold of their planet's human population. However, the infection is not the only threat the Rhodes Island team must face, as the terroristic pro-infected rights reunion movement threatens to radically shake up the planet's power structure by any means necessary. As of writing, Arknights has no official release date. Are you excited to watch an Arknights animated series? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments down below. Well, Leto, you're kind of the game guy. Have you ever played like Arknights or Azure Lane before? Or would you want to watch an anime from Arknights, and have you watched the Azure Lane anime? Nope. Quick and to the point, right there, Leto. Quick and right to the point there, huh? Just fighting games. No, no sounds horrible. All right. All right. Well, anyway, we'll move on to the last main story. Then wow, we went through these went pretty quickly, a little quicker than I thought they would. But we got one last article to go through, and I'm sure this one might. Oh, hey Leto, I guess we might actually hit up a sixth story there because we'll probably maybe we will add this last one here since we are running pretty quickly here. But see, this was going to be the last story of the night, but I might add that Cowboy Bebop story right there. So here we go. High Guardian Spice officially arrives on Crunchyroll 3 years after initial announcement. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. Crunchyroll officially confirmed that High Guardian Spice has finally arrived on its streaming platform. I know Hiro Hay in particular has been quite vocal in his criticism of this series, among other people. The animated series from Elation Studios was originally announced back in 2018, with Crunchyroll claiming it would arrive in 2019. They posted on Twitter, quote, "We're proud to announce High Guardian Spice, the first series from Elation Studios, um, Elation Studios, coming in 2019." Obviously, the show never made it onto Crunchyroll in 2019. In fact, Crunchyroll would later announce that the series would arrive as part of its Crunchyroll Originals 2020 slate in 2019, and it didn't show up there. Let's see. They tweeted, quote, "Please welcome our new slate of Crunchyroll Originals: Tower of God, Noblesse, The God of High School, Inspector, Onyx Equinox, High Guardian Spice coming soon. I can't wait to watch them with you." Unquote. And it still didn't come out quite at the time they thought it would originally. Again, the show never arrived on the platform. Most recently, they announced that the show would arrive sometime this year at the virtual Crunchyroll Expo, and even had the series creator Ray Rodriguez appear at Crunchyroll's industry panel. Still, there was doubt that the show would ever arrive, given the two previous announcements and no actual show. In other words, the two previous false starts. Well, the show has finally arrived. Crunchyroll tweeted, quote, "Guardians, welcome to Lingarth High Guardian Spice. Just launched on Crunchyroll." Unquote. Let's see. Let's see if you guys are saying anything here. Laugh out loud. Okay. Yeah, the trailer just dropped 30 minutes before your stream, I think. Yeah, they just added the news story, I guess, onto onto it just in that time frame because it wasn't on there before I started when I checked all this stuff. So we actually may end up with six stories to cover tonight then. So, which sometimes can happen. Stuff can pop up at any time. Um, the series official description states Quote, the lives of four fierce girls converge at High Guardian Academy, the one place where you can stumble comically toward adulthood while becoming the heroes they've always admired, unquote. Quote, as they master the ways of battle and sorcery, the foursome form allegiances, uncover legacies, face betrayals, and uncover their true identities while preparing to protect the world from an ominous, unknown threat, unquote. It concludes. The series is 12 episodes long. All 12 episodes are available to watch on Crunchyroll now. First episode currently has a 1.5 star rating from 113 votes. If it's based on a 5 star, yeah, which it is, 1.5, that's actually kind of bad. 15 out of 50, that's 30%, I believe. It's like 30%. That's a that's a failing grade right there. Putting this Rosemary or Journey to Lingarth. Rosemary and Sage say goodbye to their families and journey from the hamlet of Pebble um, to the bustling city of Lingarth. Do you plan on watching Harry Guardian Spice on Crunchyroll? I don't think so, and I don't think anybody else here will either. Right, guys? Anybody here? Any of you want to watch High Guardian Spice? Uh, All right. Well, we'll probably get to the last article here then. Originally, that was going to be the last article, but we actually have one that just got added during the stream here. Um, nope, I don't have a daughter. That's just that's being okay. Okay. All right. So this will definitely be the last story as it was just added. And we're now at 59 minutes, so we're just under an hour. So we're about to hit the hour mark here. So look like we have made some good. So I guess this is the trailer you were talking about. So from right to left there, you got Daniela Pineda as Faye Valentine, John Cho, Spike Spiegel, and I don't remember the guy's name who's playing Jet right there with the dog in his arm. Anyways, Netflix releases first full trailer for live action Cowboy Bebop. Article by Spencer McCooley, published earlier today. After months of highly questionable production stills and an equally dubious teaser, in small quote, trailer, Netflix has finally released the first full trailer for the live action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop. And the results are about as expected. All right, let's see what they mean by that as we further read the article here. offering little in terms of actual plot details, with Netflix seemingly expecting every member of its potential audience to have already watched the original anime. Cowboy Bebop's first trailer instead opts to present viewers with a montage of scenes showing off both the neo noir aesthetics of the series and the flamboyant nature of those who populate its world. Okay. While little is shown in its 2.5 minute runtime that audiences haven't seen in previous previews, particularly in terms of the series' cosplay accurate costuming of its villains and its use of Scott Pilgrim versus the World esque framing techniques. Though, admittingly, the quality of the series' CGI spaceships looks much better than fans were first led to believe. The trailer does give a better look at Netflix's absolute butchering of Faye Valentine's character. Unsurprisingly, as was surmised in Bounding in the Comics' previous coverage of the quote unquote lost session teaser, Netflix had blinked in the face of keeping Faye accurate to her original character, choosing to move away from the now considered, in smaller quotes, problematic femme fatale she was conceived as, in favor of presenting her as a social media approved generic quote unquote strong female character. Uh-huh. Yeah. In the original anime, Faye was shown to be a clumsy con artist with less than the best of luck, constantly relying on her quote unquote feminine wiles and quick wits to pull off her jobs and escape from danger rather than brute force. However, the series appears to have elected to ignore her unique personality in order to show her as generically tough, as the trailer shows Faye wielding a palm knife and taking down Spike in a street fight in Tijuana, indicating that she is a skilled hand-to-hand combatant capable of going one-on-one with even the most skilled of martial artists. Yeah, that's probably not going to have a lot of fans clamoring to the theater. Further, Faye's new generic strong female characterization can be seen in the moment when she proposes joining the Bebop crew, asking Spike and Jet, what do you say, fellas? Want to team up? I was thinking a 60-40 split, going my way, of course. Oh, God. While Faye assisted and joined the crew of the Bebop under a similar promise of a 60-40 split on a job in the anime, her negotiation with Spike, who actually offers Faye the 40% in an attempt to talk her down from 80%, was originally presented as more of an opportunistic scam than an instance in which she could self insert herself into the team. Yeah. It's clear that Netflix is attempting to capture the self assured and conniving nature of Faye's original depiction, yet in doing so, they've conflated her fast talking nature and aforementioned wits and with quippy, Marvel style snark. In the end, this quote unquote ball busting, in small quotes, um, dialogue trope not only grates on the nerves of audiences who have grown more than tired of its overuse in every movie since Guardians of the Galaxy, but also ditches the nuance of her character in favor of presenting casual viewers with a more socially palpable female lead. Interestingly, given how hard Netflix has tried to make their live action series as accurate to the original anime as possible, yeah, right, right. Anybody else want to laugh at that one? I'm kind of reminded of that scene from Futurama that I know Flash has played on a few occasions where you know Bender sitting there going, let me laugh at that. Ha 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 ha. Oh, you were serious? Let me laugh again. Ha 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 ha. Harder. Ha 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 ha. You know, let's see. Be right back. Gonna get a drink. All right. Let's see. Faye seems to be the only player to receive such a major character revamp, which seems a more than a little misogynistic, especially from a company that virtue signals as loudly and proudly as a streaming giant. As a streaming giant. Now, of course, we all can't forget that very infamous pose that Faye's actress Daniela Pineda did of her being on all fours, looking at the camera with her mouth gaped open as somebody looks like they're playfully smacking her on the backside there. First season of Cowboy Bebop is set to release on Netflix on November 19th, which will be what, 3 weeks from this Friday, or a week before, 6 days before Thanksgiving. What do you make of the live action Cowboy Bebop's first full trailer? Let us know your thoughts um, on social media or in the comments down below. That's not anything that impressive, if I'm gonna say anything on it. It is what it is. It's their woke garbage. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna step away from the computer for a moment, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back now. Let's see. So we're pretty much done with main articles here. Let's see. So how is everybody doing? Do you guys like the articles tonight? Okay, back. They were okie. We had like 3 comics, 1 anime, and couple of like, well, I guess you could say on the television side of it, that was also kind of connected to anime in a way, but yeah. So is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about? Anything you guys want to bring up? Not really. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from Batgoat or Toys in a while, and Woody didn't seem to um come in tonight either. I know, but I guess Batgoat's working on his bathroom, though. I guess. Hmm. Well, also, guys, don't forget, like Friday, aside from, of course, the historical comic retrospect this week, I also have a couple of major announcements that I'll be making as well as in regards to future of the Mikestand here. So, you're gonna want to be here Friday for that as well. Let's see now. We're at I seen the news about Kyle Rittenhouse case. Laugh out loud. They are not allowed to call the dead people victims, but they can be called rioters and looters. Yeah, I saw the headline on that too. I did see and I know that apparently Nick went over the motion hearing yesterday, um, and of course the people who are prosecuting Kyle Rittenhouse are like crying foul because, oh, you're gonna demonize the dead people just like you demonized George Floyd. Well, yeah. So let's see. It's great. Yep. It might sound like the judge isn't taking no guff. I think, does know what really is going down. So, Toys, Batgoat, you guys here still? Yeah. Oh, let's see. We're an hour 17 now. Hmm. Even with adding that extra story, it didn't really take too long to get through. Huh. So, Leto, even though I know you haven't been broadcasting, you haven't been live streaming playing video games, been playing video games at all, or have you just been too busy with work and stuff? I know you haven't been live streaming playing the games, in a while, but are you at least playing video games or watching anything interesting? Too busy with work. Ah, that sucks. Well, you did say you got a promotion, so um, means more hours and all that, I guess, which means more money coming in, but less time to enjoy what you can do with that money. Unfortunately, kind of that's where the trade-off is, right? Hmm. My wife has been promoted to the store's managers, and we fixing to move to a bigger place. She did. Ah, okay. Hmm. Yeah, and I know I seem quiet right now. It's because I'm just trying to think of what to do or say, or just trying to see if anything comes to mind. I still got the same hours, but still two jobs to two jobs. So money's good. New car she has. Yep. Yeah, we know about that because of what happened with the old car. I guess, right? Kiss an angel good morning and let her know you're happy there when she's gone. Kiss an angel good morning and love her like the devil when she gets back home. That's an old country song from a guy. I believe his name was. I don't know. It was Charlie. It was Charlie Rich, I think. If I remember correctly. Laugh out loud. Sounds nice. Hmm. So okay, so now we're at hour 21 here. Now we're kind of So is there anything you guys? Well, I know I've already asked this, but I'm going to ask it one more time anyways because we're now past the 120 mark. So, but the walls are paper thin. I can hear a ruckus. Not really. I know my sister and nephew are out in the living room talking, but I wouldn't say that's a ruckus. But anyways, so I'm gonna ask this one more time. Anything else you guys want to ask about or talk about or anything like that? A ruckus. A ruckus is like a loud, rowdy party kind of thing. I just like saying the word ruckus. Actually, if I remember correctly, there's actually in Marvel Comics. There's actually a I believe there actually is a mutant named Ruckus. Hmm. And I do remember that from the at least the '90s X-Men the animated series cartoon. So, is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about or ask? I know already said I was going to say that just one more time, but if not, it might be a good time to start winding down a bit here. So, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about or anything like that, um, are you guys ready for this day in Nietzsche history? Yeah, Nietzsche, Mike. All right. Yeah, because it doesn't seem like there's much conversation going on, Leto, and it is kind of hard if nobody feels like if you and I are the only ones here. We got some things talking about, but not enough to when we don't have enough people interacting. So, but anyways, as I said this Friday, I'm going to be making a couple of major announcements. I hope you'll be here to hear those. So, without no further ado, then why don't we go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. Today being Tuesday, October the 26th, 2021. Let's take a look back at this day in each history. First off, we're going to head back 30 years ago today. As on this date 30 years ago today, both Captain N the Game Master on NBC and The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh on ABC would would air their final first run episodes of their respective shows. So on this date, back in 1991, which was 30 years ago today, Captain N the Game Master on NBC and The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh on ABC would air their last first run episodes of their respective shows. So there we go with that one. Next up, bit of another. Uh, he lived a pretty long life, so I wouldn't say it's super sad, but on this date, 15 years ago today, South Korean professional wrestler Kintaro Oki, who was, of course, a former NWA internet. He was a former NWA International Heavyweight Champion. He was a four-time NWA International Tag Team Champion, as well as being a four-time All Asia Tag Team Champion and a four-time All Asia Heavyweight Champion. Um, on this date, 15 years ago today, Kintaro Oki would pass away at the age of 77. Um, he was right up there in the same wrestling class as Giant Baba and Tony Inoki. He'd been trained, of course, by fellow South Korean wrestler Ricky Dozan. Um, so on this date, 15 years ago today, Kintaro Oki had passed away at the age of 77. And now, last but not least, on this day in each history, and we just go back just 10 years ago today, on this date 10 years ago today, um, the 70th issue of DMZ from DC's Vertigo imprint went on sale on this date for $2.99. And had a 32-page account. Part 4 of the Five Nations of New York storyline, written by Brian Wood, drawn by Riccardo Buccinelli, lettered by Jared K. Fletcher, and then Jeremy and Cox did the coloring. So on this date, 10 years ago today, 70th issue of DMZ from DC's Vertigo imprint went on sale on this date. So with that, guys, thank you again for being here. We're coming up on an hour and a half here. So it looks like we're making good time here, and I thank everybody for the likes and shares tonight. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night for another edition of the Mikestand. And don't forget, on this Friday, along with our weekly, of course, look back at comics history, our historical comics retrospect, we're going to I also will have a couple of major announcements regarding the future of the Mikestand. So, with that, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.